Let me begin by saying that as co-chair of the Congressional Cybersecurity Caucus with Chairman McCall, I fully agree that organizations, public and private, must do a better job adopting cybersecurity best practices as the consequences of cyber attacks can be devastating. I certainly also associate myself with the remarks of the Chairman in his opening statement as well. It is also abundantly clear that network administrators are not currently employing best practices, given that over 80% of cyber attacks could be stopped with simple hygiene measures like patch deployment or the use of two-factor authentication. I understand that some of our witnesses today and the Chairman believe that applying existing policy, the SAFETY Act, to this problem may help improve our nation's cybersecurity posture. I have great respect for their point of view, and I certainly believe that incentives are an avenue that we should explore. However, I do think that there are a number of questions this committee should answer as part of our consideration. First, I think we must ask ourselves, what do we see as the underlying purpose of the SAFETY Act? I have always viewed the legislation as having at its heart the incentivization of research, design, and development of new technologies. Today, new information security products are being released at a prodigious rate, raising questions of whether further SAFETY Act protections are necessary to spur innovation. While the shield offered under SAFETY Act certification and designation can certainly also incent deployment of these new novel technologies, we as a committee must determine whether the Act is properly tailored to the problem that we are addressing. Second, we must also look into the implementation of technology certified under the SAFETY Act. Network security is incredibly complex, and users of security products can often make mistakes in configuration or interpretation of results. For example, in the target breach, the company's security software alerted on the malware that eventually compromised the point-of-sale terminals. However, the alert was lost in a sea of other warnings. How limits of liability would apply in such cases is an important concern. Finally, we must examine the SAFETY Act in the context of cybersecurity risk management writ large. I have consistently fought efforts in Congress to prescribe specific technology solutions, either legislative or regulatory. Information technology simply moves too fast at a pace to be able to say that today's best solutions will be viable in 5 years, let alone even less than that. Instead, I have advocated adoption of risk management frameworks like NISTs that help companies assess their level of cybersecurity risk and development processes to reduce that risk. One of the best practices universally praised under such frameworks is resilience, the idea that a network should not rely on a single technology for protection. Part of the reason that data breaches last for more than 6 months on average is that companies prioritize perimeter security without similar focus on detecting anomalies once the network has in fact been breached. So the committee must explore whether the use of the SAFETY Act in a cybersecurity context could inadvertently make networks less resilient. There are other questions I have, for instance, the adequacy of the certification process that I hope the committee will also explore. Let me again thank the Chairman for convening this important hearing, and I thank the witnesses for appearing, and I certainly look forward to their testimony.